All
Perfect.
right. Okay, thank you guys so much for attending our Simple Intelligence live event today, where we'll walk through simple intelligence in real time and how it can benefit your company. Today, our speakers are Rob Ladorn, VP of Sales and Marketing, and Simon Newkirk, our Director of Operations. We are welcoming a ton of questions. If you have any questions, feel free to put it in the chat and we will address them during the conversation or the Q&A session after the live demo. I will be handing it over to Rob now to give a quick overview of Simple Intelligence and how it benefits your company. Rob?
Yeah, so I wanted to, first of all, give a little bit of a background in Simple Intelligence, how the product came to be. Simple Intelligence was really built foundationally off of a collaboration with one of our valued clients, that was trying to gain more insight, more information into their business, into their clients. And really, Simple Intelligence was born out of a lot of those conversations. The tool has a ton of benefit, a number of different areas, which Simon is going to demonstrate for you here shortly. But the whole concept is to better understand your customers through artificial intelligence. Most companies today have considered, looked at AI. This is a tool that really starts to bring all of those conversations and kind of the questions of how to use AI for your business into one consolidated platform. Couple of the benefits of the platform is it is an over-the-top solution. If you are on an existing voice provider today, this solution can actually override onto that, making it a really easy transition to not only pilot, but also consume the service. So what I'd like to do is turn it over to Simon, our Director of Operations, who developer of the platform. So Simon, without further ado, I'll hand it over to you.
Great. Yeah, thank you so much. Got my screen share going right here. I'll let it load here on your guys' pages for just a second, and then we'll get started. To start with this page and to really start with an overview of the platform here, the briefing page, we've got many modules and many pages to cover, but the briefing page is really the page that we tailor for, here's the results of what the platform is doing for our customer. I've ingested a broad time frame for this customer here. So we're actually looking on this page, we're looking at over 3 months of data. What we're showing here, this is for 83 locations. This is a retail customer where calls are coming into their stores to typically 1 or 2 people at the front desk to tire and automotive chain. And so, the use case here is, for the phones is people are calling in, they're trying to book an appointment, they're trying to, ask about a quote, whatever it might be, right? So they're actually going into the auto attendant, they're selecting an option and saying, I want to book a new appointment. So that's what we're analyzing here. That's the primary use case for a lot of what we're going to be showing on this page is people trying to book an appointment. There are many other verticals, and this I think is one thing I want to call out as we're going through the demo is, the verticals and the things that this can accomplish in, healthcare or childcare or even, fitness centers or whatever it might be. The use cases can be very similar or, very different. The good news is that the platform is scalable and moldable to many different needs. So going down the line here, we've got a whole bunch of modules that I'll go through. To start though, I think it's really cool to show we've analyzed in depth 164,000 calls in a 3-month time frame for this customer. And this is all in real time, by the way. So call immediately fires, the call wraps up, we get it in real time, we analyze it with AI, we transcribe it as well through diarized transcripts. And 122,000 times in the past 3 months, we've said everything is okay. There's absolutely no issues. Customer called in and they got exactly what they were asking for. They got their quote, they booked an appointment, they spoke with who they asked, who they asked for. And then we've got our dreaded loss rate and our lost calls. And this is really where the platform can turn into revenue generation for our customers. And it definitely is in this case as well. So 20,000 lost calls or lost opportunities we've identified over a 3-month time frame. What a lost call really is the customer called in and they wanted to do business. They wanted to get on the schedule. They asked for a quote, but for whatever reason, and there's many, many reasons, they did not get what they asked for, or they did not get on the schedule. They didn't commit to an appointment. And that's kind of configurable too. So, we can send notifications for many reasons, but that's exactly what we're doing here with this 20,000 number. And I'll scroll down here and I'll actually show. So this is our graph showing the scale of the platform. Everything in blue is all good. It's again showing these total calls where there's no action needed. And then our red and our purple are our rescue flow. So red is everything almost went great. There was 1 or 2 training moments or a lost opportunity, but it's not something the customer has elected to take action on. Everything in the purple is where a follow-up was actually triggered. So a follow-up can be basically anything. In this use case, it's an email to a call center where somebody's actually going to look at this opportunity and say, what happened here and what could we have done better, or can we get this person on the schedule? Because obviously in the first call we did not. And so what that's turning into is genuine recapture of significant revenue. Because if you don't have AI listening to every phone call, managers might sometimes spot check 5 or 10 calls in a day. But when you have 100 inbound calls a day, you can't listen to all those. You can't react to them in real time. But thanks to AI, thanks to Simple Intelligence, you definitely can. We can cover more on the sales rescue component later, but I know we only have so much time. Effectively, we're monitoring your calls. And if something goes wrong, we can send an alert to anywhere. That's kind of the key important part there. Moving down the line, this is an amazing part of the platform, this promise pulse. This is our promise tracking component. And this is something that spans all verticals. Anytime you have a human that's answering phone calls and you have 2 people talking, a lot of times people will commit to doing something in the future. So for example, somebody calls in and they say, hey, I'm looking to get a quote on X, Y, and Z thing. And then maybe they actually get that quote, right? And they say, okay, great. Well, let me talk to my wife or let me talk to my significant other, and I'll follow up with you tomorrow. Or from the store's side, right? The store could say, hey, I'm really busy right now. I'll get you a quote and at some point in the future, in an hour or in 5 hours, right? Whatever it might be. And I'll actually just pull up our promise tracking page here where you can see every single one of these gets tracked. And so not only is the platform, monitoring, one thing at a time, but we're setting a timer and we're watching for calls back to or from these people to ensure that what was originally identified in that first call actually gets resolved in the second call, all automatically. So, there's no manual tracking here. There can be if a customer elects to have that happen, but we're tracking all of these promises and making sure that they actually get resolved. I do like to highlight back on this briefing page, you can see human nature is businesses are busy, your front desk people are busy, and your sales agents are busy. And a lot of things can slip through the cracks. And that's what we're showing here. Over 9,000 in this 3-month period, 9,000 calls and this is both for the customer, the caller and the callee, but they go unfulfilled. And we only fulfilled about 1,000 in this 3-month time frame. So what that shows is, there's 9,000 opportunities that we could have sent an alert on and said, hey, you forgot to send that person this quote. Or maybe we automate a text message and it says, hey, Mr. Customer, you said you were going to review that quote. It's been 24 hours since you said that. Is this still something you're interested in, right? And that's something that the platform can do as well. Moving down the list here. So those are 2 actions. Those are our 2 really primary actions that the platform is taking right now, right? It's these configurable alerts, agentic workflows, everything follows through, gets analyzed with AI, and everything is driven from there. But moving down, the platform is doing so much more. Even just from a coaching perspective, just understanding and analyzing calls in bulk for enterprise, we're finding some really, really incredible things. For example, we've got our opportunity pressure heat map right here, where These are our low performing stores where you can see here out of 1,900 phone calls, this location is losing about 20% of every opportunity that comes in. And if we scroll down all the way to these other ones, these other locations are, kind of the best performing locations where they're only losing 6.5% or 7.8% of their inbound calls. And as a district manager or as a manager or as anyone in operations, this is where you can come in and start to see at a high level, like what action do I need to take and who do I need to target first? And, what's really going on? Really, really powerful part of this is, you can click in and inspect bulk calls using AI. So if I'll just analyze 10 calls here and generate a quick overview in this other page here, but you can come in here. And so for example, odd job 4436, I can go to my coaching page and actually just generate all of those calls right here and say, here's what's happening at this store, and actually go and manually review all of these, right? So all of these are the lost calls, the notified calls, the ones that we actually sent that rescue alert on. And then again, we can do some really powerful things, right? So we can, I like to show this. We can really quickly just filter for, specific services, right? So if we want to say, for other verticals outside of tire and automotive, we've got, just some regular companies that sell beds, for example. All of their beds have a specific name. And so they can quickly just come in here and see, are my sales agents saying the right things and, teaching our customers about the right things here? And again, you can either review these manually. So I'll just actually open up this call review page and I can, add my coaching notes. We can see exactly what happened, what everyone talked about, the reason that this was a missed opportunity. We get our service summary, our discussion notes, a sentiment analysis of the call. Again, we get our tags as well. And so every inbound call we can quantify and say, here's exactly what your customers are calling about, and here's exactly what happened on the call. And then you can leave your coaching notes, and you can select this here and create a quick coaching packet, right? And so this is really powerful for sales heavy organizations, again, where somebody calls in and you as a business, you usually have you should welcome people with a warm greeting. You should answer the phone quickly. You should offer them an appointment right away. So being able to come in here and actually review these opportunities in a really quick way without listening to them manually, not only saves operations folks time, but it makes it very clear, what the next steps are when you go to actually coach people. It takes a minute to analyze a subset of calls with AI, but I'll actually show you some past analysis as well. In this page, on the coaching, we kind of have two styles of coaching, right? So you can come in here and generate a whole list of calls to send to AI. We chunk those up. We get our response back. We say, here's exactly what's going on with this location. And then you can chat with that data with AI, which is also extremely powerful. One thing I didn't cover super in depth here is our service tags. So service tags, again, are, customer calls in and they're asking about some type of service, and we want to be able to tag that. I like to show in our tree map here, this actually shows some really powerful information. So we can see over this 3-month period that 26.8% of these calls are about tires. And, you think about other verticals where it's, we all have an idea as to what people are calling us about. But, because our front desk agents are telling us what people are calling about. But it'd be really nice to just know immediately with real raw data, 30% of our calls are about customers with complaints, right? And then as a district manager or as an operations manager, these are the areas I can improve on. If we can get people trained to answer those questions faster and better with higher satisfaction, we'll spend less time on the phone, and that frees up our people to spend less time on the phone. Or I like to highlight this. One of the customer in this use case, when they noticed that over 20% of their calls are about oil changes, that got their mind thinking, we need to be taking less oil change calls and make it easier for people to book without taking up one of our agents' time, right? So they shouldn't be calling. It's not that they shouldn't be calling in, but it's just that there's operational things that we can change to make that a better experience for our customer, and also reduce the amount of time people are talking on the phone. I'm going to go into some other areas of the portal. I've went through promise tracking. We briefly covered coaching, and I would love to dive into that a bit more, because I think that that's honestly one of the most extreme benefits of the platform here. But I'm going to jump into our money call page. And this is, we call it money call because it's cool and it sounds cool. And I think it sounds great. But this is configurable scorecards. And this is taking something that's traditionally only in CCaaS environments, so call centers or contact centers, and we're able to assign a score on a whole store. So it's not just saying, Sam, when he answers the phone, Sam does great, right? But what about, you have locations in your other markets. How are those doing, just as a whole, rather than just one person at a time? This is really bridging the gap for those enterprise customers that are thinking, maybe most of our calls should be answered by a call center. We would get better reporting. We would know what's going on. Well, this is the answer to that. You can keep your traditional UCaaS deployment and all of your phones at your locations, and you don't have to upgrade to extremely expensive CCaaS deployments to get some of that same benefit. So, for example, I'll dive in right here. This customer has elected to that this is their scorecard, right? So right now, what they care about is that they're fast to answer the phone, that they're fast to offer an appointment, that they keep their promises, right? So if you keep 100% of your promises, that leads to customer satisfaction, and that the average sentiment rating is high. And what we do is, after every single call, as a part of that analysis flow, we take all of these components and we actually assign it a score. So it's all based on a weighted average of 100. These purple lines are actually showing you this is the different weight. So you can say, I really want people to answer the phone fast, but I don't care if they get, I don't want to, make it too big of a deal that they offer an appointment quick. We don't want people to offer it if it's unnatural, but we still want them to get to the point. So we weight that less. And this is completely configurable. We've even had customers that are deploying, instead of, individual points on a scorecard, they wanted to know, well, is it possible if we just give you a PDF, and after every single call, your AI goes and reads the PDF and assigns a score based on the metrics in there? And the answer is absolutely yes. So there's multiple ways to make a scorecard and actually score a store. But the result is really powerful, because you can see, here our current champion for today is this location, 5126, and they have a weighted average of 91. When you, again, start to look and compare with your lower performing stores, this just screams to operations folks, there's something that we can do, and we know exactly what it is based on this scorecard. If we can get site 5057 to answer the phone faster and offer an appointment faster, or have a higher sentiment rating, these are all coachable things that will improve to better business operations. This is a really powerful part of the platform. We're really excited about it. And again, I think that this really bridges the gap between customers that think that they need a call center or contact center, when really you might just need training, or you might need more employees at some of these stores. And Simple Intelligence really answers those questions and gives it to you in a way that your locations can consume that data as well. Let's see, what else should we cover? So I'll pull up our Signal thread page here. One of the things that we like to cover in this platform is, this is something that traditional UCaaS has kind of missed for a long time, right? So Contact Center has had it. Contact Center has had AI since AI has come out, but UCaaS has not. And one of the most important things is that UCaaS is starting to get it, but only through some, really dedicated AI companies. They're saying, we'll listen to your calls and we'll be able to send you an alert, but that's kind of the extent of what we're seeing in the market. And we didn't think that that's a valid enough experience for our customer and for everyone looking at this platform. What we're doing here in Signal Thread is effectively, again, bridging another gap with a CRM light concept. So over the past 3 months, we've for this customer, we've just automatically we've recorded 172,000 contacts. And what we're doing with this is we're actually building long-term historical context about what your callers are calling in about or what your stores are calling other people about. And so on our Signal Thread page here, you can see we give a very brief overview here, but these are all inbound calls for this Signal Thread. So this is, all they were doing was calling to check the status of their vehicle. And in fact, they did that 3 times in a row. Right. It's more powerful when, you can start to build these, again, long term. What if 6 months ago your customer was asking about some type of service? Being able to go back and see those AI overviews for that specific caller without having to pipe that data to your CRM can become really, really powerful. On that note, though, our platform can fully, we can fully pretty much integrate with any cloud CRM provider. We can post data, to your existing contact records because we're already storing this in a manner that CRMs can expect. So this again is a really, really powerful part of the platform as well. Arisa, if you don't mind doing a time check here for me and letting me know if there's any questions just yet.
Yes, I would love to address a question. Also, just to let everyone know, please feel free to put in the chat your questions, anything that you're curious about with what we've covered, Signal Thread, promises, and money call cards. One question that we want to address is, can this work across multi-verticals outside of retail? If so, what are your thoughts on that?
Yeah, of course. So we've been seeing a ton of interest, for example, in law firms and healthcare. Those are 2 verticals that we think would be, best and next for, really building out those features to support their needs. You think about outside of retail, even restaurant. We've actually got, for example, a really heavy a client that's really heavy on to-go orders and catering. Catering can be a massive undertaking, right? So there's not only is there so many questions that get asked on a catering order, but there's a lot of promises as well. We agree to do X, Y, and Z thing for this customer in the future, or we're going to call you back with a quote. And again, the same is true in healthcare. I bet every single person on this call has called either their healthcare provider or their insurance provider, and they've asked a question, and the first person they talk to might not have the answer. They almost certainly are saying, hey, we'll follow up with you, in 24 hours when we have your labs back, or whatever it might be. Tying this in to anywhere that, obviously can be, and the platform can fully mask PII and PCI, and it can be HIPAA compliant as well, so long as the customer maintains HIPAA compliance. But there's many other verticals, for all of those reasons, that the promise tracking and the sales rescue components can easily help all of those types of businesses as well.
Thanks for answering that question, Simon. That was very informative. We'll get some more time in the chat as we close the webinar. We've got 4 minutes left. I'll take this time to let everyone know that we will be sending a follow-up email to everyone who has attended and who were able to. We'll be including a recording of this live event today, so that if you missed the first part of the live demo, we will be sending the full recording over to you guys. We'll also be including content such as PDFs, any additional information about this product. And if you have any questions, we will be adding the information on that follow-up email. If you would like to ask us about anything with regards to Simple Intelligence, please feel free to send over an email. But other than that, we want to
One
say,
last one
oh,
last thing, Teresa, if you don't mind, is for those that have joined us, if you're just intrigued, or you want to better understand how the platform could potentially benefit your individual business or potentially a client of yours, please reach out. A lot of this that you've seen today is through a lot of conversations and understanding what sales and operation and IT leadership are looking for within their organization. So reach out. We would love to take a further dive, have a brainstorming session on how it can benefit your business based on some of the conversations we've had. So we really appreciate everyone joining the call, and we've seen great. We also have a really exciting pilot program that we can offer for clients as well. So reach out, let us know if we can help in any way.
thank you guys so much for attending our live event, and we hope to see you guys next time when we have a new one. Alrighty, y'all have a wonderful day. Bye.
Thank
All
you.
right, thank you.